Hey, it's Ken. So we're in a public space again, so you'll hear vehicles traveling up and down the highway, and you may hear people talking in the background. There's one thing that, also it's kind of chilly. I have my coffee with you, so I may have to take a drink of coffee. I have one housekeeping thing I want to talk about. In the video, the rant video, I don't want to leave anyone with the impression that I'm against people purchasing what I call Gucci gear. You buy whatever gear you want. You buy whatever gear you can afford. I think it would be, I'm trying to say this in a nice way. If for whatever reason you can't afford to purchase Gucci gear, GBRS, Spirit Systems, London Bridge Tactical, etc., that's no reason for you not to have gear. There's plenty of good gear out there to be had, surplus gear. Excuse me. So if you can't afford Gucci gear, that's no reason not to buy gear. I don't. I have Gucci gear, but my chest rig is just a standard surplus rig, and I spent more money on plates than I did anything else. The plates that I purchased are they can withstand multiple hits from 7.62 and 5.56 green tip, multiple hits, but they only weigh 6 pounds, so that's expensive to buy a plate of that design. So I decided that instead of spending hundreds of dollars on hanging gear, I would spend hundreds of dollars on the plates. So I wanted to get that squared away. I don't think you should purchase a I think they're called a micro chest rig. That's not good. But I'm not against anyone buying Gucci gear if you can afford it. You do what you will with your money because it's yours. Okay, let's move on. Today we're going to talk about food on the trail, or food on the march. It's been a food on the march for military guys has had a long tradition of going hungry. And what I mean by that is they would take an MRE and break it down into the essentials that they wanted, and they would be out for 3 or 4 days, and they would break the MRE down and get rid of the stuff they don't want to reduce weight. So that's been going on for a long time. And if you've ever heard of Gunnery Sergeant Hathcock, who was a Marine sniper in Vietnam, he and his spotter would go into the hide and not move for several days. And how they got away with that is they would only take the peanut butter, cheese spread, and crackers out of the MREs, and that's what they survived on while they were out in their hides. The problem with that is you go hungry and you tend to lose weight. And Gunny Hathcock lost so much weight at one time he was restricted to the base. They wouldn't let him go out and do his job as a sniper until he started gaining weight, so they restricted him to base. So that is the trade-off. So in my Food for Your Bob video, I was talking about you need to make sure you have enough meals for how long you need to be gone, or on the march, or on the walk, or whatever it is. Okay, so this is what I made. This has been about a week in this bag. This is what it looks like shrunken down from the oxygen absorbers. Okay. Now, when I'm saying meal, I don't mean that, excuse me, I don't necessarily mean that entire package, okay? For me, I know what my body will do. And I don't know if you've ever heard of the term, I'm scared shitless, but for me and a lot of other military guys that I know, being scared shitless is something we giggle about because you're not really scared, but you are shitless for several days. What happens is, at least for me, is in a high stress environment, I don't really eat the first couple of days. I just drink a lot of fluids. So I don't go to the bathroom. Okay, so I know for me, when I'm if I were to out on patrol or whatever the case may be, I know the first day I can go drink fluids, and eating is not really an issue, especially in a high stress environment. And in my plan for my bug out or my get home or my patrol or whatever the case may be, I'm going to split this homemade MRE that I have here. For me, the first day, I'll eat half of the calories. The second day, I will eat half of the calories. And then the third day, I'll eat the whole thing, all of the calories. So on the first day, I'm getting 1,000 calories. The second day, I'm getting 1,000 calories. And on the third day, I'm going to get about 2,000 calories. Now, the problem with that is 1,000 calories is below the starvation rate. So it's not necessarily a good thing to keep that up for a long time. However, being hungry for a day is okay. It's not going to kill you. And what that allows me to do is cut down on the amount of these homemade MREs that I have to carry in my bag. So for every 3 days, I need 2 homemade MREs. So if I was going to go 6 days, that means I only need 4. If I'm going 9 days, I need 6. And 1 more, just in case. So that's something you want to think about. I don't know how your body works, but I know for my body, it's okay. You're going to be all right if you go hungry for a day. You're going to be fine. So if you're really concerned about weight, and obviously you should be, then that's something maybe you can plan on doing. 1,000 calories on day 1, 1,000 calories on day 2, and 2,000 calories on day 3. I think that's the optimum between not carrying too much weight and yet having enough food to sustain you in your bag for several days. Now, obviously that's not a long-term plan. As I said at the beginning about Gunnery Sergeant Hathcock, he did that for weeks and weeks, and he suffered for it. Started losing a lot of weight, and he was actually starving himself to death. And that's why they made him stay on the base for several days until he gained weight. And there is a second benefit, and that's going to go poop, make a deuce. Number 2, take a shit, take a dump, whatever you want to call it, poo. When you're restricting your calories, you don't have to go poo. Now that's also something that they did a lot in Vietnam, and it was done deliberately. I know that in his book, John Stryker Meyer was talking about he knew guys that they would take what they called no shit pills. I don't know what that is. I've never heard of them. So that's something they did in Vietnam that I have no clue what that is. But that's what they called them. They called them no shit pills. And there were people who did not take them, and there were people who did take them. Most people just restricted their calories. So that's a benefit of restricting your calories. If you're worried about people tracking you in various things, that also, I know some people talk about, there are some instances where you have to carry your poo with you, right? You have to poo in something and carry it out or take it with you, so you're not leaving a lot of sign behind. So that's another reason, or good reason, to restrict your calories. And like I said, it's okay if you go hungry for a day. Not going to kill you, not going to hurt you, but you don't want to go too far into a calorie deficit, because eventually it will catch up with you, and you'll be hurting. You'll be a hurting unit. So restrict your calories when you can, and make sure you have plenty to eat on the third or fourth day, whatever it is your body can handle. All right, so that's food on the trail. For me, once again, it's 2 meals every 3 days, and I'm okay with that. My body's okay with that. I think you need to find out what your body's okay with. That way, if shit goes sideways, shit hits the fan, the worst happens, you'll know by experience, or from experience, what your body can handle and what it can't. I hope you have a blessed day.